Dominic from askmediy.com. In this video, I want to show you how to make a set of stairs for your deck on the outside. Although we're using rough lumber, our measurements are definitely not going to be rough because it's all the same. What we're going to do, at the top of the deck, this is where we want our stairs to go. Use a straight edge. In our case, I'm going to use a 6-foot level because I have one. If you don't have one, just get a straight board, put a level on top of that, and then where your stairs are going to sit, you use a tape measure, level the level out, put the tape measure down to where the stairs are going to go, and get a measurement on that. And we have 45 inches. Now, we have 45 inches from the top of the deck to where the stairs are going to go. It doesn't mean, like if we had a hill here, we don't care, it doesn't matter. Top of the deck to where the stairs are going to go. That's going to be your total rise. And that's the number that we want to know about. In our case, we have 45 inches. So what we want is a number for each step, each rise of each step, that fits perfectly in that 45 inches. So let me do some math and we'll figure it out. Okay, so what I came up with was 6 stairs at 7.5 inches, perfectly 7.5, even with 6 steps, and that'll give us a total rise of 45 inches perfectly. It's real important. You have to go a little bit more, a little bit less, but also check with your town because there are some code requirements that you have minimum, a maximum. 7.5, between 7 and 8.5 is a good number, but most important that they are all the same. That means right down to the grass, to your cement patio, whatever it may be, to the top of the deck. Now, we have 6 steps, but we're going to actually only have 5 steps of tread because the top of the deck is going to count as the 6th step. All right, so let me show you how to measure a 2x12 and measure that all up. Now, what we want for the side of the stairs, now the sides of the stairs, like this is your stringer. This is what's giving you your support to hold these stairs. In our case, we're only going up 6 steps, so it's not so bad if it breaks and falls. You're still going to break your neck, no doubt about it. But suppose those stairs were 13 stairs high, 8 feet high up in the air. You really want to be sure you get some good solid wood on the side. Real important for the stairs is that you look at the wood straight down. Make sure that's not doing anything freaky and funky, going all different directions. Give it a little view like this. Make sure that board is as straight as you can possibly get it, because it's going to be real important. If you start playing with warped wood, well, let me tell you, you're going to end up throwing these stairs at your wife, because it's going to cause you a lot of misery. Not that you should throw them at your wife. Like I said before, we're going to use a 2x12 for our stringers. Now, 2x12 is not always 12 inches. In this case, it's 11 3/4, and that's actually pretty close. Anyway, each step is also going to be a 2x12 or 2 2x6s or whatever it may be. But either way, it's going to be about 12 inches wide. But what we're concerned with right now is the rise of each step. Now, we have 7.5 inches. Now, what you do, just go to the store, buy a framing square, and get these little brass, I call them bugs. They're actually called stair gauges. They actually lock the square against the 2x12 like this, and it's going to be consistent. That's the most important part, is consistency. You want every one of them to be the same, but of course, and you're done totaling to that total rise that you had. In our case, we had the 7.5 inches. Now we're using a 2x12 for our stair treads, which before was 11 3/4 wide. I'm actually going to go 11 inches, so each step can fit under the next step just a little bit. But as I go along, it's going to be the same. So the first one, if you want to make sure, these things, they just screw on. They lock right on there. We're going to go to 7.5 as we have, and that's going to be our first step of the rise of the first step, the riser. And then down here, we have our step. So this is actually our first step. Now this line here, the very first one only, this is what's going to rest against the deck. So we should line up the square, the straight line. So when we cut these up, we're actually going to cut this part of it off, and this is what's going to rest against the step, the deck. All right. So with the square, it's going to go on to the next one. Let's see if we move the camera a little bit. Oh, there I am. Okay. Oh, that ain't working out too well. That's better. All right, we made our line for our first step, our tread right there. We're just going to get the framing square. We're going to line it up again. We're going to line this line that we have here right with the 7.5 inches. Now the rest of it's all going to fall in place because we have these stair gauges locking it in. Make some lines, and then we're going to just keep going. Go until we're done, and we're going to make 2 of these, one for each side, of course. We're at our last step here. Now, terminating the last step is not a hard thing to do. We had our tread width, we have our rise, our 7.5 inches, but we don't want to cut any more, so we want to just square that last one off down to that 7.5 inches. And there we go. So when we lay this against the deck, we're gonna cut here. This is gonna sit on the floor, and way up on top, that's gonna sit up on the top of the deck, nice and even. So if everything was 100%, this line will lay nice and flat against our platform. So let me get cutting these, and I'll show you what they look like once they're cut up. So we're gonna cut the front of it, underneath of it, and of course back up on the top like I showed you. All right, well, I went and cut those marks, those lines that we had. And if you look, this is going really nice and flat against our deck side there, and it's laying flat down on a block that I have. So now what we want to do is go make another one just like that. The same way I just showed you the first one. When you're done cutting them, what you want to do is lay them on top of each other and make sure that they're the same. All right, well, I got our 2 stringers cut, and they're perfectly fine and nice and straight against our deck there and laying flat down on our board. The problem is these are 4 feet wide. Now yours are probably 3 feet wide, which in case a single 2x12 for a tread will be fine. But when we're going 4 feet wide, well, that's just too much. That 2x12 is going to move like this. Not that it's going to break, but it certainly can, but it's just not strong enough and certainly not code. So what we're going to do, we're going to make another one. But of course, we can't just lay our treads on top of something like this, so we need to cut it out, just like these lines that we were doing. Now you need to make another one and just cut those lines out so that tread will sit right on top of that, really nice. Because of the length that it's going to take me to do that and show you, I can only show you real fast on the video because YouTube doesn't allow a video over 10 minutes apparently. So I'm going to go make that and I'll show you when it's done. All right, this is our inside stringer. Obviously, it's not going to go against the stair. It's going to go in the center of the deck of the staircase here. But just put it against it to show you that they're all the same and that these are our lines that we had made. Now, this line here is going to be the top of our tread, and it's 1.5 inches higher than our inside stringer because our inside stringer, the tread, is going to lay right up on top of these. All right, so now let's get building these things. Okay. Before we start putting our treads on, what we want to do, again, this is the line where this is going to be the top of the tread, so our tread is going to be 1.5 inches thick. So we want to make a line right below that, 1.5 inches below that. We're going to use a cleat. This is what's actually going to hold the steps up. In this case, I have a 2x4 here. We're going to keep it nice and level, even with that line that's going to 1.5 inches lower, and we're going to fasten it to the stringer. We're going to do it for each one of them on both sides, and then we can just get our treads and lay our treads right up on top of those and nail those in nice and securely. Well, as you see, my stairs are all done. I even put the railings on it. But again, this video was just intended to show you how to measure for the stairs and get them going for you. You see we have our first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and our 6th step is the deck itself, the top of it. You don't ever want to discount that because you're going to find yourself too short, and those 2x12s that you bought, they're not cheap. Well, they're going to be garbage. So make sure you always do that math the way I showed you. I hope this was helpful for you. Anyway, I'm Dominic from askmediy.com. See you next time.